Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be discussing Dan Heng IL's Light Cone and what it offers for him as well as the rest of our roster, and if you should pull for it or use one of the alternatives that exist. Without further ado, let's discuss Daniel's chains and figure out why he was in chains to begin with. To begin, let's go over what the Light Cone Brighter Than the Sun and what it does. Brighter Than the Sun is a signature light cone that increases the crit rate of the wearer by 18%, and then when the wearer uses a basic attack, they will gain 1 stack of Dragon's Call for 2 turns. Each stack of Dragon's Call increases the wearer's attack by 18% and energy regeneration rate by 6%. Dragon's Call can also be stacked up to 2 times. This light cone essentially has the ability to increase your crit rate by 18%, attack by 36%, and energy regeneration rate by 12% if you have both stacks of Dragon's Call. This shouldn't be too difficult to obtain, as Dan Heng IL will be using his basic attacks quite often due to how his skill kit operates with his skill from what we have seen from the official live stream. For those who are unaware of how his skill works, it enhances his basic attack for a maximum of 3 enhancements, and each enhancement increases the damage and hits his basic attack will deal to enemies. As a result, he should easily be able to take advantage of these stacks, and the crit rate is highly beneficial as he is a multi-hitting attacking character from what we have seen, similarly to a character like Jing Yuan. As a result, you want as much crit rate and crit damage on him as possible to ensure you deal more critical hits, and also take advantage of how many critical hits you can deal for massive damage potential with crit damage. The light cone assisting with the crit rate factor and allowing you to focus more on crit damage, and possibly using the root talent set now will be more possible due to the crit rate given from the light cone, as that set requires 70% crit rate in order to enhance your basic attack and skill damage. While he doesn't necessarily take advantage of the skill portion, because his skill enhances the basic attack, he'll be able to take advantage of the basic attack portion of that planar set, so this is really good to consider on him. And as a result, this will result in more, of course, damage with his enhanced basic attacks, which will make your Dan Heng IL destroy the enemy with his awesome dragon capabilities. Of course, the attack increase also helps with this since it means more damage. And as a result, whatever you're fighting will have to face Daniel's wrath. Anyway, the energy regeneration is also good. In the live stream, it was shown how his ultimate will grant him these charges that can be used in place instead of a skill point, which allows him to be a bit less skill point hungry and can be good for being able to do maximum stacks without worrying as much about him eating all your skill points as if he was at a buffet. The energy regeneration can help with this, as it's essentially as if you had a mini energy regen rope on him without actually having the energy regen rope on him, which means you could double down with more energy, which if you had a maximum rope, and then of course the energy regeneration with the maximum stacks, here's how much energy you would have, or you can use an attack rope depending on what sort of build you end up going for. This light cone can be used on nearly all destruction class characters as well, due to essentially all of them for the most part benefiting from the crit rate. The energy is also really useful because this will just allow them to get their ultimates more often. And that 18% crit rate, once again, is just definitely really useful to have. Ooh, now that we've gone over all the perks of Daniel in Chains, what are the negatives? Obvious negative is that it'll cost you Stellar Jade in order to get this light cone, of course. That could have been either used for another character or another light cone even. But for those who are low spender and possibly free to play, and you possibly can't get this light cone, I do have alternatives, which is the Fall of the Aeon light cone. This light cone is accessible for all players and can also be superimposed 5. You can also use Clara's signature light cone if you have that, and of course there are other 4-star light cones as well that are usable, as Destruction has quite an array of light cones that are quite good. But I will say, when it comes to a free option and possibly the next most accessible alternative, I'd have to suggest Fall of an Aeon, as it grants you a 64% attack increase, and whenever IL breaks enemies, which should be possible due to how he's multi-hitting, and if he's anything like Jing Yuan, this will be pretty good because he'll likely be able to shred through weakness or toughness meters rather. So overall, this will be a good thing, and he'll be able to get that damage increase, which is a 24 damage increase for 2 turns when this light cone once again is superimposed 5, which any player can obtain this by playing through Simulated Universe if you're a new player, you're a player who's been playing since the beginning, all of you guys can obtain this. So when it comes to strength and a raw damage output, On the Fall of an Aeon gives more damaging potential buffs, as you get the attack increase and the damage increase, especially when they're all active at S5, since it's basically a 64% attack increase versus a 36% attack increase from Brighter Than the Sun. And there's also that 24% damage increase to consider, which will further strengthen him. So you will be getting more damaging potential buffs with the free-to-play Light Cone, but with his Light Cone, you will be getting the crit rate, which once again can be really good depending on what type of relic sets or planar sets you're trying to go for, energy regeneration, and so on. Now that we've gone over though what Brighter Than the Sun does, the benefits, the negatives, and the alternative, is the Light Cone worth it or should you skip it? Personally, I say this Light Cone definitely has a lot of worth in the aspect of what it provides. The energy can possibly help make skill point consumption more doable with more ultimate usage, and as a result can make you worry a bit less about skill points due to his skill kit. I do believe the free-to-play option can be quite useful and definitely doable to say the least. So in a sense, his signature Light Cone offers a lot more comfortability and convenience in what it provides. It can allow you to mess around with more relic main stats and substats, and the Rutilant set's requirement of once again 70% crit rate, while the Fallen Aeon can be comparable in damage and also is free, and can allow you to save for another character instead. Xuan, by the way, is watching this video, so if you are going to pull for her, she will be keeping track if you do pull that Light Cone or not. I hope this video helped out in explaining what this Light Cone can provide, and if it did, consider subscribing for more style content, leaving a like to support the video, and let me know which character you're most excited for, which it could be Topaz, Jinglu, Xuan, and so on. Personally, for me, it's definitely going to be Topaz. I love her design. She is so cool looking. Also, she has a gun, which is kind of awesome. I hope all of you, though, have a nice one. If you want to join the Discord, go ahead, it's in the description. That doesn't work, though, because Discord links like to expire on their own. You should be able to join my Discord from my YouTube links that are provided on my channel's page. Once again, though, hope you all have a good one. Peace.